Hello, my name is Brian Galebuck, and I will be a guest commentator in this video for Dweebovision. I am a North American Scrabble expert, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully, this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. I will be playing this game with the North American Tournament word list and the double challenge rule, in which a lost challenge results in a loss of turn. The game is just about to start, so let's join the action. All right, it's my opponent to go first. I have just one vowel and some high-scoring consonants. Now, let's consider if my opponent plays each of the different vowels, would I have a bingo with any of those? A, I don't think so. E, no. I don't believe, and that's the only vowel that was played was I. All right, so I don't have a bingo. And I'd like to get rid of some high scoring tiles. Now, I was just looking through this I to see if I had a 7-letter double-double. I don't see one. But I might have... All right, I think I want to play horizontally here. Maybe him. Now, getting the H above on this double letter square would be more points, but I'm not seeing how to do that. Now, just looking at this spot, thinking an H would fit nicely there, but I'm using the H here. I think this is an okay play. Now, it would be nice to use another consonant, but I don't see how I'm going to do that because I can't go further in a parallel direction without another vowel. All right, him. All right, I still have just one vowel. Now, the D fits here, but I need an A to go above either HI or MI, and I don't have an A. I only have an E. Where does the E fit? Just under this D. Well, my opponent had 3 A's and used 2 of them in those spots I pointed out. Galatia. Nice play. And that is how that's spelled. All right. Now, just considering this A floater or the E floater, that does not look like that gives me a bingo. So good find by my opponent. All right, just considering through... Double-double, I don't see that. All right, so I want to try to use up as many consonants as I can. Maybe even keep the E. Perhaps a low-scoring play through the A would be the best. I could play Grant or Grand. Let's see what my leave is if I do that. C-E-T. Not fantastic. 7 points, terrible. What could I do ending ED? Not much. All right. This is not anything really I'm going to do here is going to be great. Maybe drag. Keeping CENT. I like this leave better than the other leave. I'm not going to score points no matter what I do. I could just go for leave, but what would be the best leave I could keep? Maybe RENT. I think I'd like to score a couple of points. All right, let's keep CENT and see if we can improve this rack dramatically. Well, that dramatically improves the rack. A blank is always welcome. I draw an F and a W to go along with it, so now my focus is going to be playing away these high point consonants as quickly as possible to get to a bingo rack and get a bingo. Now, I've taken out a floater, which is bad, so maybe that's a reason maybe I should have traded instead of making this play. And the board is very tight at the moment. I may end up trading anyway if it stays this tight because there's almost no place to play. I still only have one vowel. The D fit under a me, so maybe I shouldn't have played the D. Well, let's not get into the what if game. Let's try to make the best play going forward. We can look at what if following the game when we examine the game. Now, jug doesn't really open up much of anything. Well, I could play deft for 16 points, keeping C and W. Not very good. If I could play FEW, that would be something, but there's not really any place to play that. Let's go with deft. I draw the second blank. Okay. Now, a good thing about having both blanks is you know your opponent does not have any blanks, which is a good thing. I have no consonants, however, or no vowels, rather. And no real vowels to play through. Even if I consider my blanks as two vowels, that doesn't look like it could possibly be a bingo. Especially on this board, deft does not take a back hook. Scoring very slowly this game. 3 turns, just 54 points. I'll need to pick that pace up. Now, here's an O as a floater. I'm wondering if I could maybe use one blank for a big score here. Or I could just play. That would use up 2 of the high point tiles. I'm just going to place some tiles here just to see what kind of target I'm looking at for using a blank as a letter to score. I could get something like 40 points by using a blank. I think I like... Well, that takes a back hook, and I'll be able to hook it with an N or an S. I'm still keeping 2 consonants. I like this. Be nice if I could reach this triple letter square, but I'm going to need to use a blank to do that. I'm not willing to do that. I'd like to keep both blanks. All right. All right, I draw the Q, which is a drag on the rack. The Q can't easily be played, at least not without using a blank. All right, I may... Boy, it seems crazy to trade when I have 2 blanks, but I need to get rid of this Q, and I'm not willing to use a blank for a low score just to get rid of the Q. I think it's better to trade. All right, so if I trade, what letters do I want to keep along with the Q? I don't believe I really want to keep any of them except maybe the C, but the C is not a tile that hooks easily, although there's not really many hooking spots on this board. To get a bingo, I may... Well, now an O would fit here. Do I want to keep the O for that? I don't think I do. I think any bingos I'm going to get is going to be an 8-letter play through a floater. So I'm inclined to trade all of 5 of the non-blank tiles I have. Or should I keep the C? The C is supposedly a good bingo tile, but I don't always have good luck with it. In this case, I think I am going to keep the C. So I'm going to trade 4 tiles, keeping C blank blank. All right, that is absolutely a bingo. Now, what bingos do I have? I'm going to consider from this B. Just cycling through one of the blanks here. Scuba'd would be a bingo through the B. I'd like to start with the B if I can. Now, because doesn't take a back hook. I think bascules. That would be 83. It would be nice if I could get the C on the double letter square as well. All right, just considering. Forgive my lack of commentary here. I'm just mentally going through trying to think of words in my mind. All right. Well, I saw bascules. I think that's fine. That's 83 points. We're going to go with this. Now, do I want the S here or here, the actual S? I'm still trailing. I want more volatility. I'm going to put the actual S here. In case I can get another bingo here, I'll get a few more points. A minor consideration. All right. So I'm down by 40 points. My opponent is on turn. I have a lot of vowels here. I have an IER suffix. I also have the ED suffix, but I have a lot of vowels. Okay, only 13 points by my opponent. That's good. And kind of an interesting play. Why would my opponent do that? Is he close to a bingo, perhaps? I don't want to block things up, though. Now I have an O for fitting here. I'd like to open up some more spots on the board right now. There's not a lot of places to play. And I'd like to clean up this rack. Now, if I could use, I need to use at least an O and an E. Looking up here, what I can play here, I could play poo or poi. 20 points. Still keeps duplicated E, but E is not the worst tile to duplicate. The rest of the rack looks okay. Now, be nice if I could use off E, I, and O. I'm not seeing a way to do that for a lot of points. 2 is a good score. 20 points for this rack anyway. Let's see what I draw. This looks like a great rack. Pre-edits. Okay, so I have that in row O if it's not blocked by my opponent. And if I do get that, I'll be happy that I put the actual S on this spot for the extra 3 points. Now, do I have any other spots to play a bingo with this rack? I can't hook this. I can't hook rib. I can't hook a mirror. If I play from the D, I don't believe I have an 8-letter bingo through the D. Alright, so I'm hoping so far that this spot is not blocked. Let's look at some of these other floaters. How about to an E? Alright, well that's frustrating that that is blocked. And I can't think of any fancy 7-letter extensions for runs to make an 11-letter bingo. All right, let's finish considering these floaters here. I don't see anything to the L. Nothing to the U. That would be a strange ending. How about to the C? I see ending. Don't think so. All right, and the only other floater is this J. That does not look promising. Well, that's disappointing that that ended up getting blocked. And this board is rather closed. The good thing is my opponent only got 5 points for that, and I'm almost caught up in score. So if I can continue to score now, I might be able to win without getting a bingo. Now, how can I clean up this rack? I'm getting a little low on time. All right. Maybe something from the D. If I did drip, then that would take a T hook, but should I use the T right now? Only 16 points for dripped. What else can I do? This board does not have a lot of opportunities right now. Does pre-edit have any anagrams? Not that I can think of. All right. Well, I'm not really seeing much of anything really exciting. It'd be nice to use off an E since I already have 2 E's and there are lots of E's still in the bag. It would be probably an error to keep too many E's. How about if I did ped, keeping tire? That's a great leave. 19 points. I like this. Wow. And I draw 2 more E's, but I believe I have... No, I'd have retiree with another R, not another E. 4 E's. Wow. Well, that's a little problematic. Okay, so if I can use off as many E's as possible, I might be able to generate a bingo. How can I do that? Well, I could play G for 10 points. All right, my opponent has an S. I'm going to need an S at some point. Now, I think Div. I think this is good, or is it only good with an A? Well, it's 18 points and it uses off 3 E's. Am I willing to give this a shot? I may be thinking of Reeve, R-E-E-V-E. I think Deeve is only D-E-A-V-E. But I could just play Eve. And this takes a back R, so I like this. Only 12 points, but I am opening up another spot. All right, I draw an R and a U. If I had an N to play through, I'd have unretire. We're kind of running out of tiles. 24 tiles remaining. I have about 5 minutes. Hedger, okay, 22 points. Let's look at that G. Does that give me a bingo? I don't think so. How about through the E? I don't believe so. All right, so there's a floater in the E. I have a hook spot with this R. How else can I create another opportunity? This is very blocky up here. I don't see a way to open this up easily. Or at all. Now I could play Re, that takes a front T. There are 2 T's in the bag. It also takes a front S. At this point, I might need to take a risk. Or, here's an idea. If I put an R here, that takes a back T. And then if I could play something across here that takes a front hook, not seeing a way to do that. Be nice if I could use the U, but I'm not going to draw another U. There are none left in the bag. I have a couple hook spots here with this play. Let's go with this. Okay, utilizer, if I had an I to play through, I don't. Now, I could play, if this is not blocked, I'd have Zit for 40 is a good play. I'm going to keep the R for the ever hook. All right, that's skillfully blocked by my opponent. Do I have a way to play down from the T? Not that I can see. Now, how can I set up the Z for a big score? Well, I'm getting pretty frustrated here in this game. Well, I have Z, Z-E-E, for 32 points. I'm going to need an A then to play under there. There's only 1 E remaining now. We used all the E's in one shot pretty much. All right. Okay, 32 points. Hopefully I draw an A. I don't. I don't see a 7-letter bingo. I still have this R spot. That's blocked by my opponent. But this takes a front R. F-R. Do I have an F-R word? I do. I have frit or fret. 37 points. I'm pretty close to score to my opponent. Let's try to outscore my opponent without getting a bingo. I have the Q. How can I use the Q? I believe this is the second time I've drawn the Q. That's a bit of a drag. I have an O for going after J. Okay. I could do just QI. That's a terrible score. All right, and I only have 90 seconds remaining. I'm very close in score to my opponent, but my opponent likely has the A for a hook here. That's bad. Now, what can I do with the Q? QU. Well, I could just do quad for a low score. I would have liked to set up something exciting. Not seeing how to do that. Well, if I do quad, what am I remaining with? While. Hopefully I could draw an S. I need the S. I don't draw the S. I don't have the A. My opponent has all the good tiles here for hooking on this board. And that's a huge score. Just looking for a bingo here. Through the T. No, I don't see a bingo. Okay, I have an I for going here. I don't see a good way to score. I could play evenly. My opponent is probably going to go out. And I'm out of time and out of points. And that's it. All right. Kind of a dreadful game. I'll thank my opponent for the game. And the final score is 351 points for my opponent and 314 points for me. A winning margin for my opponent of 37 points. Let's see what we missed. All right. I felt like my brain was kind of in a fog this game. All right, so I only had one vowel here. I could have played chimed or chirmed for 28 or 30. I play him for 32, but keeping 4 consonants. Yes, probably playing off more consonants would have been indicated. Here again I have just one vowel. Kahir, I could have played. I played drag for 6 points, playing off all consonants. So here this play of 22 points keeps no vowels, but scores 16 more points. So it might have been a better play. Although I believe that takes a back S, so that's a very undefensive play. So just board management wise, that might not be the best idea. Creaming could have been played for 17 points, keeping just DT. That's worth considering. All right, here I had the first vowel, or the first blank. I played deft. I could have played fret, keeping C and W. Played deft for 3 fewer points, keeping C and W. Okay, so fret would have been the same consonants played, but at E9. All right, through this R instead. All right, scoring a few more points. That would have been better. Here I have both blanks, but all consonants. The computer is recommending a 34-point play, keeping just one blank. What did I do? I played 22 points, keeping both blanks. This is really kind of a situation where I almost need to analyze with a tool such as Quackle to really see what is the best move percentage-wise. All right, here I draw the Q. That was not very welcome. I could have used a blank to play the Q for 21 points. I don't like that. Food could have been played for 31 points. Well, that's worth considering. That seems like a good play. I just instead trade. Yeah, 31 points is too many points to sacrifice in order to do a trade, so I don't know. Food was probably better even though it keeps the Q. But in any case, I did draw a bingo rack. I could have played blue caps. That's a way. You know, in my mind, I thought of blue, but then I did not see blue caps. All right. Well, in any case, Bascules only scores 6 points fewer, so not a terrible sacrifice there. Here, I could have played re-edit for 27 points. Where does that play? 8A. All right, down to the T, doing a triple, keeping 0-0. Instead, I went for rack balance. All right, now here's where frustratingly my bingo play was blocked. Now, I played, what did I play? I played ped, keeping tire, which is a good leave. Redipped could have been played for 11 more points at 8A. Again, I'm not really considering this triple, and that may be a good idea because I'm opening up another bingo lane. Tip does not really, or ped does not really open up another bingo lane. It does if you have an S, but I don't have an S. My opponent has an S and uses it to great effect, and this V is very blocky, so that's a good defensive play for my opponent. Here I think I drew, did I draw 3 E's? Yes, I did. So I drew E, which was unfortunate, although I think another play I was considering was dripped, but that would have kept 2 E's, and if I had drawn as many E's, I could have ended up even worse. Well, it's probably not possible to be much worse than the 4 E's here, but I did note that there were a lot of E's in the bag, and that was partly why I played ped. So what can I do here with these E's? I could play eerier for 12 points. 12J. Well, what did I play? I played Eve, creating a hook, so I like that idea, and that's just as many points, so I like this play fine. Uteri at M1. Well, that might have been worth considering to open up some more lanes. What did I play? I played re, opening up a T hook. My opponent was on top of board management on this game, really making plays that were very blocky. VAR only scores 6 points, but defensively is a great play for my opponent. Really blocks things up. What could have I done here? Ritz for 33 points. What do I play? I play Z for 32 points. Now, where does Ritz play? That plays at 6K. That is maybe a better play. There are 2 Ys remaining. Ritz takes a back Y. Might have been a little reckless defensively, but at this point I kind of have to go for openings. Z was not great in that the Z only takes an A under it, and I don't have either A. And I am using one of the last E's by playing Z, so maybe not the best play. Ain. And here, did I have a bingo? No. I could have played flu for 37. What did I play? I played frit for 37. Okay, so frit keeps ELU. Flu keeps RIT. Yeah, the RIT leave is probably a little better, although there are 3 eyes still in the bag. Well, from my perspective, there are 4 eyes in the bag, so I think Frit is okay. And here I draw the Q again, which really kills my chances. The only Q play even being suggested here in the top 10 is Roke at 6K. And that leaves no bingo lanes, although at this point, I'm going for score. I really need score. So look at these suggestions. 32, 33, but keeping the Q. The Q is really a huge problem here on these. Roke, which is the only suggestion that uses a Q, only scores 16 points. What do I play? I play quad for 14 points. So quad leaves Wyle, W-Y-L-E. If I played Roke, that additionally uses the E. So neither of those really seems like a very winning play. My opponent has the S and the A, the S for hooking here, the A for hooking here. I really needed to draw one of those tiles. I didn't draw either of those tiles. My opponent gets a good score for toys. And at this point, I'm running out of time and out of ideas. I could have played U for 28 points, but no matter what I do, if my opponent plays out with the AIL, which he can do that here or here, 32 points is not going to be enough because I'm still going to have a 10-point count back by my opponent if I keep 5 tiles. 28 points is just not going to be enough, so it did not look like I had a winning play. Drawing that Q at the end and then not drawing an A or an S just really killed my chances here at the end. All right, I made a play, and my opponent plays out, and that's the end of the game. So kind of a frustrating game. My opponent did a really good job on board management. I drew the Q at a couple of inopportune times. Could have scored a few more points for blue caps. At the beginning of the game, I could have had a couple plays where I could have used a couple more consonants. But overall, there were no what I consider to be glaring errors that I did. It just ended up being a frustrating game where I didn't have many opportunities, and my opponent did a good job of board management blocking those opportunities, which is indicated when they are ahead in the game. So kudos to my opponent for such a well-played defensive game and taking advantage of the opportunities that were presented to my opponent. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this game, and I hope you found this game valuable. Thank you for watching. My name is Brian Gielbach, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.